Okay, so tonight things got deep and dark. Really deep, really dark. Let's talk about it.
And I'm like, come on through, Cookie. I want to put my soapbox. That's basically it. Let's talk about drag and all its forms. What,
Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Season 1, Episode 4 of 911. I've said it before with this show. If you're not watching this show, you're doing yourself a disservice. This is real good. Very much Ryan Murphy, very much done excellent, written more than excellent. Like I said, if you're not watching this, you're doing yourself a disservice. But anyway, tonight things got real dark real fast. We start right off. We see Bobby. Bobby's over here and he has like a little black book. And in the book, there are lists of people who he's actually rescued. So it was like, well, that's kind of different. That's kind of strange. But, you know, Bobby's kind of strange. He's the captain. He's kind of strange. So it's like, okay, cool. So we start right off. We see people on a plane, and I'm like, oh, God. As much as I hate to fly, I was like, I already knew from the door. I was like, we get ready to go there. Sure enough, they're doing what they're doing. They're coming in for landing. We start to see people moving around, doing what people do. If you've ever been on a flight, you always see somebody doing what they're not supposed to be doing. They'll tell you all your cellular stuff needs to be turned off at this point. There's folks with their stuff, they still carrying on and all this. You know, people are very much that way. People don't believe shit stinks until they step in a pile. But they never actually, and that's the only thing about the stories. You know, there's always more to the story that I'm always so invested in, and I want to know more about the story. We never did find out why the plane went down. But the mother went down, okay? So they're literally in the midst of walking it out, you know, about to getting everybody in position to go in for landing. And there was like a drop because literally things just went up. Like you just saw the stewardess just like go up in the air, like hit the ceiling and come back down. It was like, oh my gosh, okay. So it was, you know, just in a split second, it was on. And we went through all of that. And then we go immediately to basically the aftermath. There was a couple that we saw. They decided that they wanted to join the Mile High Club. Okay? So they took their asses and they then went up in the bathroom. Right when they were saying they were getting ready to land, everybody knows that the most critical points of a flight are takeoff and landing. If there's going to be something that goes on, generally it takes place at takeoff and landing. It's pretty much, once you're in the air, you're pretty much cool. Takeoff and landing, or when you are in your most vulnerable states, when you are in the most danger, is during takeoff and during landing. And because you ain't supposed to be flying, because God didn't make you to fly. So anytime you start moving and shifting and man starts doing what man does that God didn't tell him to do, that's when you're at your most vulnerable state. That's when you are in the most danger, when you're doing the things that you basically have no business doing. Takeoff and landing, okay? You don't have wings, and you ain't had no business up there no way. So, that's that. And that's one way to look at it. It is what it is. We just tend to do what the fuck we want to do. Anyway, so why these fools decided to go and do what comes naturally, you know, during landing was beyond me. But they did. They went on. They did that. Okay, so the plane There's a problem during landing. It ends up in the ocean. They end up the pilot put them into the ocean, which was for the best because it was on fire. The plane was actually on fire, so yeah, put them in the water. We see. I don't know what happened with the front part of the plane. Front part of the plane we didn't see. We saw from a little less. It wasn't even the middle, but a little beyond the middle back is what we actually see. I don't know what happened to the front part of the plane. I'm going to just take for granted that they must have perished. Okay. Couple of the rescues. They go in there. So we got the people that are caught in the bathroom. They literally ended up stuck in the bathroom because the actual one of the trays, the stewardess tray had kind of like slammed back there and had them wedged literally in the bathroom. So they were, though the bathroom kept them safe for the most part, they were locked in. And then the water was coming up. That part of the plane was about, because where the plane had snapped, that was an issue. Had the plane all been one piece, it could have stayed in the water for much longer, but they literally had a split time. It was like minutes to actually get who they could, because it was definitely going to sink, because again, it was being submerged in the water. So they were stuck in the bathroom. Buck did what Buck does. They were actually getting people out and sending people out, and him and our bald beauty were back there, and he told her, tie the string around the tray, and he tied the other end. He went out to the end, tied the other end around one of the boats that were actually taking the people out, and in Buck style. And when they took off, it like shot this damn tray. I was like, Buck, you gonna kill somebody with your damn heroics one of these days. But that damn tray went flying. So they got the two of them out. It was a black guy and an Asian girl. Got them out. They did survive. And basically when we seen them again, they basically were like so happy, and they told Buck, we're actually getting married. So they've been banging you in the goddamn child, whatever. But they said they were getting married. Like, first things first, they had decided if we get up out of here, we get married. I said, well, good for y'all, honey. So we got them. They got saved. There was a little boy, cute little boy on the plane, and he was doing little magic tricks and stuff. And that was like the last thing we saw before the plane actually started doing whatever it was doing. He was doing a magic trick, and the stewardess, and she was like, oh, that's so sweet. That's when she dropped the drink and flew up and hit the ceiling. His mother was actually stuck. Her legs were, I don't know if it was the trays that come down on her legs, or whether it was the armrest. However, her legs were actually pinned in. So they had to go through the whole thing of telling him, that, we got to get you out so we can concentrate on mommy, this, that, and the other. So they finally got him separated. And his mom basically talked to him like, I'm going to see you real, real soon. But you can see she kind of had it in her mind that she wasn't going to make it. Because they were saying, they were already calling at that point that there was only like 4 minutes before they were going to be submerged in water. And she was stuck, and Bobby was actually helping her. Bobby was trying to help her. And he told her, he said, you're not going to die here. He said, if you go down, I go down. He was working to get her done. And it got real, real shitty there for a minute. It got real bad. We got Buck trying to tell Bobby, you got to go. We got to go. We have to go. And so they went to do the whole thing again with the string. And he's like, trust me, it works. So they actually, when they were just getting ready to get everything tied off, there was like a plunge, and it, the water just went to sucking them down. Buck actually got out, and Bobby was right behind him, and he's looking, and he's like, Bobby. And it's like, oh shit. So Bobby was still trying to tie the rope. And at this point, him and the woman are submerged in water. So they got all this going on. And then we see Buck is being airlifted, and he yanks Bobby. He gets back in to get to Bobby. He grabs Bobby, and he's grabbing Bobby. Bobby just in time grabbed the woman's hand, and they literally got all three of them airlifted out. So I was like, okay, that was the magic of television. Magic of television. And generally, this program really sticks to a lot of reality. You don't get a lot of TV moments. But I think, I know me, I needed that television moment right then. I don't think I could have took no more right at that point. It was getting to be a bit much. So I was like happy for a television moment right there. I don't know about y'all. Y'all tell me what y'all think down in the comments. But I think I needed a television moment because I was about to pass out up in here. So they airlift them. They get them out. There was a black guy who actually made a 911 call and got Abby. And he's going through his whole spiel of how he may not make it. His name was Del Marks. He gets Abby. He goes through the whole thing. Well, he didn't end up making it. And, of course, Abby ended up calling Buck while he's at the scene. Buck goes looking for this guy, finds out he didn't make it, lets her know. Then later on in the program, we actually see where the wife, he was talking about the wife having this trouble pregnancy and all of that. We actually got to see where the wife actually sat with Abby and got to hear the recording. That was, again, it was just too much. It was too much. Yeah, I don't know. And that's something I would be interested to see. Does the 911 center actually allow that kind of a thing? And I can imagine that they probably would, because it's not that often, I don't guess, that we catch all of that kind of stuff on tape. I mean, I know there was a few things like that when it came to 911, the actual 911 devastation in New York that happened. There was a few situations like that. So I can imagine they probably do. It was a lot. It was a lot. So we had that go on. Then there was one of my favorite scenes of the night. And it involved Athena. Athena is a badass cop, and this is just that's why Angela Bassett is perfect for this part, because Angela Bassett is badass. But she goes in, of course, she's on the ground. She goes in, there's all of this drama involved inside the airport. Naturally, they're trying to keep pandemonium down. She goes in, and there is a airport cop who is just an asshole, and he has basically assaulted this man. The man was on one. His father had died. They had grounded the planes and everything because they didn't know what was going on with the plane, whether it was natural or whether it was an act of terrorism, and they were holding everything up. So they said they had been on the plane for like 8 hours, and the man was having a little bit of a fit, but he wasn't too bad. Well, airport police had the ass on, and he done bammed the man, slammed the man all to the ground and carrying on. When Athena gets onto the plane, because see, when she got the call, she was coming into the airport, and they're like, we got this man, and he's over here, he's really causing a scene, this, that, and the other. So they basically called to actually have him arrested. Well, by the time she gets there, old badass airport man that slammed him down, beat him all up, and duct taped the man to the damn seat. Duct taped the man to the damn seat. She's like, are you kidding me? And they go back and forth, and then she goes to take the duct tape and stuff off him, because she said, untape this man. Had his mouth taped and everything. Untape this man. He gonna look at her like, I ain't doing shit. So she went to go untape him. He went and grabbed her shoulder. She said, I know good and well you didn't just touch my damn shoulder. So listen here. If you touch my shoulder again, we're going to have a bit of a goddamn problem. Okay? And she read his ass for filth, told him about the airline and how the airline is an industry that the customer's always an idiot in their eyes. And he said, I took orders from the CEO of the airline, and they said, don't let nobody off the plane. She's like, seriously? Seriously, you're taking orders from the CEO of the airline, who really don't care about their customers. You're taking the airline side. The people want to get off the plane. Everybody knows that it's safe for the people to get off the plane. I think they'd be safer. Me personally, if there's a terrorist attack, don't have my ass stuck on no plane. Please let me off the plane. And the plane is grounded too. You sitting on a bomb. Don't let me be sitting on here. You do better inside the airport than you do sitting on a plane filled with fuel out on the damn tarmac. Ain't nobody got no time for that. If you don't let my black ass off this plane, I got to go. So I was feeling the people, and so was Athena. She got his ass so thoroughly together and then told him, this man right here was causing a problem. So I'm going to take him under arrest. That's what I'm going to do. And while I'm at it, I'm just going to take everybody else here under arrest as well for disrupting the peace. And now they all in my custody, which means everybody can get off the goddamn plane. I was like, yes, Athena. So that was like my favorite scene of the whole episode. Well, yeah, that was my favorite scene. And then I had another piece that got me together because, you know, I love my confusion. But anyway, so that was like badass, totally badass. So she got all the people together. That was cool. Okay, so let's talk about Athena in another part. And there's one other thing on the plane. It just showed you the devastation. I figured the devastation of the plane stuff was going to be pretty rough. And when the episode first was starting out, I was saying, boy, they really get ready to go here with this. When they actually walk up to the where the water is, you know, they're going into the water, you actually seeing somebody like literally strapped to their seat. Like that far from the ground. Like they almost made it to the ground. They were like right there at the base of the water, and you know, they weren't even totally submerged, but they was dead strapped to. I said, child, this is going to be a mess. And it was. Anyway, moving on. So let's talk about Layla Creedy. Layla Creedy, if y'all remember from last week, was the little girl who was the bullying bitch that got everything going with Athena's daughter. So you see Athena on the phone with her husband, and they're talking. He's like, Athena, what are you doing? Get out of here. She's like, this little whore is having a party at 4 p.m. at her house. And you can see she's a little rich, spoiled kid. And she said, this ain't getting ready to happen. She's like, are you telling me that you wouldn't like to see this little whore's face when I bust up in this party and shut it up? And he's like, whatever, Athena, you know how she is. She's going to do what she's going to do. So she goes up into the party. When we go in and we see inside the party, we see just how much of a little bitch Layla Creedy really is. There was actually another little girl that she already had her sights on as far as bullying. She had been bullying this little girl, and she had planned to really break this little girl down during the party. She had basically let her little friends know that she was going to get her. Okay? Just nasty. They're saying, oh, well, the little girl, she's dating so-and-so, a little boy, and she's like, I'm going to get the bitch. And they're like, well, I thought you didn't even like him. Well, I don't really like him, but I really don't like her. Yeah, it's just a nasty little bitch. So I was like, come on, Athena, go on up through there and get her. So once she's actually coming in, Athena's coming in, one little girl sees her, she's like, oh my gosh. Child, she took these drugs that she had and threw them in one of the other little girl's purses. I mean, this little bitch she is a hot mess. A hot mess. I'm like, what kind of kid is this? She puts the drugs in the little girl's purse. Athena ends up approaching her, and she's like, you know, little girl's all chest poked out, talking shit and all this. And she's like, yes, I guess you're Layla, you know. And then Athena actually seen the other little girl who used to be friends with her daughter. She told her, stop right there, because I see you, bitch. I see you. You know, she's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so. She goes, you'd have been in my house. Because she called her lieutenant, whatever their last name. But she goes, say, why so formal? You've been in my house, eating at my table, staying overnight and all of this. And now we formal? And she's like, said, dude, you stay right there. So she done busted and raided the party. The little girl goes to tell her, my father's a lawyer. You can't just come up in here and this, that, and the other. She'll say, oh, yeah, I can. There were reports of noise and all of this from the neighbors and this, that, thing, and the other. And the little girl and her go back and forth, and she tells her, you know, my daughter is laying in a bed. It's all because of you and your little ways and this, that, and the other. I'm like, Athena, you're saying too much. You're saying too much. And she goes on and she says, what do you have to say for yourself? Honey, the little girl looked her right in her face and told her, good, because your daughter was a weak-ass hoe. I said, oh, this bitch. She took her and yanked her ass, baby, put her in cuffs, told her, that's okay, you going downtown, baby. So they show us down at the police station, the mother and the father show up. Oh, they carrying on. Just like lawyers are always arrogant, and their wives are too. They come down there with all that gum bump and shit. And Athena told them, your daughter is in a cell because you failed. She's a nightmare because the two of you are. And it was confirmed by the damn neighbors. Y'all ain't shit. And she's up there and she gonna be processed just like everybody else. So they told her, it's not our fault that your daughter tried to do something to herself and this, that, and the other. So the mother, real smart story. Don't get fucked up now. Don't get fucked up. You feeling yourself. Don't get fucked up. I said, So they go through all that. Later on, we see that Athena, her boss, took her into the office. She applauded her about the things that happened on the plane, but then she reprimanded her about the whole situation. She said there were no calls, Athena. Nobody had called in about noise or anything from the neighborhood. You used your badge to actually do a vendetta, and for that I have to reprimand you. She said, I understand. She said, but you put us in line for a huge lawsuit. Like, you can't do that. You know better than that. She told her, so I'm going to have to put you on restrictive duty. You're going to be pushing papers at the desk. So Athena's like, shit, okay. She has a problem with that. Naturally. Because I'm thinking if you're a beat cop, it probably messes with your money. The fact that you're not out there as, being out there doing what you do versus pushing papers. I'm sure it probably has something to do with your money. Your money and your rank, too. And it's like being written up. But Athena wasn't happy about that. So we got that going on. And I'm sure she's not done with them. Knowing her the way we know her. Okay, let's talk about the last two things. Let's talk about Bobby. Bobby's still moving strange. We see Bobby, and Bobby's tied. He's at home. He's at his house. And the lady and the son and all of that, and on the plane, she had asked Bobby, did he have kids? And he's older, yeah. So, we don't know much about Bobby's life. Nobody really does. We see Bobby speaking to a child. The child saying, is it something about the plane and this, that thing, and the other? And he's like, yeah, it was a really rough day. And they're like, why aren't you crying, Daddy? And he says, well, I don't have enough tears for everybody who was on the plane, this, that, and the other. So he's going on. Then we see, it looks like it's later on in the night. He's just kind of just sitting there. And all you see is Bobby. He's sitting there drinking. And I'm saying, okay, wait a minute. Was that real? Was he actually, because it was so strange to me that we don't see any family members. We don't see anybody. We just hear the little babe, the kid talking, but we don't see anything. I said, I know Ryan Murphy like I know Ryan Murphy. Something ain't right here. Is this real or is this not? Later on, we see our bald beauty and Buck banging on Bobby's door. And they're like at his apartment and they're like, what the hell is up? And he's not answering. So Buck is ringing his phone and you can hear it ringing from inside, but he ain't answering. He like, well, come and kick the door in. She's like, no, you're not. I got the key. We have a key to each other's place just in case one of us don't make it home. We got a key. He's like, okay. So she opens the door, baby. They found Bobby in there completely drunk. He done drank a whole bottle of what looks like Jack Daniels, child. Uncle Jack will break your back, honey. He laying in there, sleep, just knocked out. So they take him, put him in the cold shower, get him all woke, get him on the couch, get him some coffee and all this. And they're just talking. And she's saying, they're going into this whole thing of, like, Bobby, seriously, what's going on? And ask him how long he's actually been clean. He'd go down to the date and the time, the hours, and the damn days of how long he's actually been clean. So it's like 500 and something days. It's like a little over 18 months. He'd been clean and he done fell off. So she told me, everybody steps back, might do a little back step and pussy pop every now and again. But you have to reach out You got to stop being so stern. And she gave him an analogy and told him, if you're rigid all the time, then there's no room to bend and fluctuate. If you're rigid all the time, you will snap. And I think that's basically what happened. You need to be able to reach out and ask for help. That's what we are here for. And she asked him, well, who were you cooking dinner for? I see the 4 plates here. Who you cooking dinner for? And I said, bing, 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 bingo. What's that, Bobby? This is deeper than what this is. Where is his family? What happened to his family? There's something up with that whole thing, with that family and the lack thereof and that alcoholism. There's something up with that, and I can't wait to find out exactly what it is. Come on, Ryan Murphy. You gonna kill me here with this. So that was that. And then we actually see him. He said, help. And then he like breaks down. I'm like, damn, Bobby. Okay. So, I'm literally loving that. So that was my second favorite thing that happened on this episode. And I'm telling you, every episode of this 911 is better than the last episode. It just, this shit is off the chain. So then we got Abby. Let's go over Abby's house. Abby, she, after all of her little stuff, she's all in a tizzy. Carla's saying, you know what? You look very tired. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stay here tonight. Your mother's been a little fidgety. I'm going to stay here tonight. No, you go home. Till she she pushed it before she told Carla, I'm a grown-up person. I can take care of me and my mother. No, you can't. No, you can't. We've proven that before. You don't do well taking care of your mother, but whatever, smart ass. She's like, I don't know. So she's sitting there on the couch. So Carla's like, okay, no problem, but I'll be back in the morning. She leaves. Mama started talking, which she's like, I know you think that I don't remember stuff, Abby, but you're a little snappy. You're always a little snappy when you're really, really tired. And she said, see, I remember stuff. And she said, it's hot in here. Ooh, that girl leaves that heat up too high. She says, the girl said her name is Carla, Mama. She said, yeah, whatever. And she says, that heat up so high. Ooh, I'm hot. So she's like, all right, Mom, I'm going to turn the heat down in just a second. Go on and get some sleep. She says, okay. She says, you get some too. Abby sat on the couch and she basically kind of just like passed out. Maybe when she woke up, she looking around. Mama gone. Gone, baby. I said, here we go. And that's just how shit goes down. Just how shit goes down when you're dealing with old people and dementia and all that. Shit goes down. They fast, just like kids. Because like kids, they're so fast and they do shit and you be like, God damn it. You know what I mean? Child, just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And again, you pushing the help away, trying to be grand and groovy, and you fucked up. And that's where it ended out. I was like, oh my God, Ryan Murphy, you are wearing me thin. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right, you guys. So that's it. I can't wait until next week to see where we're at. But all right, I'll talk to y'all then. Later.